So the hardest thing for entrepreneurs to do is their market segmentation. So everybody that stood up here to pitch and led off with the phrase, there was like at least a half a dozen with you. Everybody who had, then your problem statement, right? So that's not a market segment. Your market segment needs to be way more narrow. You should be able to walk out of the building and identify your market segment. So it's people who have the same problem, sort of to the same degree, and they would refer to each other for a solution to that problem. That's a market segment. You want to go, no, I think it's this person who has a specific problem, and this is where they hang out, and this is who they hang out with, and maybe you can get into demographic stuff if you think that that's relevant to who would be most passionate about that problem. Where do they hang out? And when you go to where you think they hang out, you can recognize them. So that's number one. You got to really understand your market segment, and it's okay to be wrong, right? So part of the scientific principle is to document your assumptions because that allows you to have something to measure against, right? It's a really important concept. If you just let it drift around in your mind, or as a team, you guys don't come up with hypotheses, then you go out and you talk to a bunch of people and you come back and you feel like you're at the same place. You've got sort of all this new information, but it's still not concrete. Yet if you hypothesize that it's women in their late 20s to late 30s who have money, that are fashion conscious, that shop at this particular boutique, who are looking for a cocktail dress because they're going to a club that night, and you go out and you talk to those people and you see if they've got that problem, you've got an answer back that's actually measurable. No, I got something wrong. It's actually, it's actually on the younger side of that. Or no, they really don't have the problem of finding something that fits. They have another problem. Or yeah, they have the problem, but they don't care. They're there with their best friends. They're going to have a glass of wine at lunch. It's about the experience, so they can have the problem, right? But it gives you something to measure against, and that's what you want. The second thing that I would say is when you go to talk to people, if the first time you talk to them, you don't mention what your solution is, that's a good customer development interview. The point isn't to go and ask people, would you like it if, right? There's no reason why somebody's going to tell you no. Right? I mean, why? They don't even know you. They just want you to go away. So what you want to do is talk to them about the problem. Do they have a problem? And it's not like you're standing there with a list of questions and you're trying to run through all of the questions. You want to go there with 2 or 3 things that you're trying to learn, and you want to interview that. You want to talk to them in depth. Buy them a cup of coffee. Try to get deep. Try to evoke emotional response. Right? If you ask people, do they want something, or would you pay for something, you can't believe what they're going to say. They've got all these other motivations. They can't necessarily think outside of their norm to try to imagine the solution that you're talking about. But if you actually get them to emotionally respond to how you've described a problem, or you're able to uncover something that they actually feel strongly about, they're not lying, right? The emotion that actually doesn't lie. So if you've identified a segment, a really narrow segment, and you can get that person to emotionally respond to what you think the problem is or the passion that you're addressing, you're on your way, right? That's what you're going for when you go out to do your interviews.